Good morning, everybody. Sorry about that. I was muted. Hopefully, you can hear me all right. I am coming down off of a nasty cold. So, if I'm a little hoarse and a little sniffly, just please forgive that. I will do my best to mute if I have to take a drink or blow my nose. So, I hope everyone's doing well. And we're going to get into this, and hopefully I will keep going on any side quests to a minimum so we don't get in the weeds. I've got my notes here. We're going to try to keep this under an hour, but basically, here we go. Welcome in, everyone. Today we're going to go over a few things as it relates to allegedly with Brittany J. Yes, I'm putting a name on it, as the saying says. For the last year, I've watched as so much has been misrepresented or mischaracterized regarding civil and or criminal law. While we can all watch a movie, a TV show, or a documentary to observe procedures, it isn't the same as studying it, learning how it works, or participating in the entire process. I have tried to give everyone a path to research and understanding so that when certain topics come up or someone starts to make accusations about this or that, it can be checked out. You can look at it yourself, or at least find the doorway to gain the information. So here we are dealing with threats of possibly another injunction, C&Ds, to a whole other host of YouTubers, chatters, or possibly even ex-mods by allegedly with Brittany J. So everybody, let's wash our hands. We're going to take a look at what's going on and see if anything pertains. Hi, Revival. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Um, if it seems like I'm ignoring chat, that's not my intention, but I'm going to do my best to stay on track because there is a lot of information to go over. And also, I'd like to point out that um, if anything that I'm touching on the presentation or on any of the slides, and you might need a little bit further information, please feel free to look over my previous videos and streams, specifically as it relates to free speech and chat rooms. I do have a presentation on that for you that's a standalone video. That also goes over the Electronic Communications Act and any amendments towards that. I've got live streams on slander, defamation, context, and that whole arena. So those aspects of things as it relates to YouTube and live streaming, I'm going to go over them a little bit, but not too in depth because I do have standalone presentations on that for you to look into. So, okay, one moment. Let's pull up this. And I know that sometimes I speak slowly or metered. So on the replay, if you need to speed me up, please do. And okay, so let's get going. Stream sniping. Is it a real thing? Is it against terms of service? Is there defamation involved? Is it stealing? Is it harassment? Okay. And okay, looks like that's good. So we hear a lot about stream sniping from BJ. And I've heard it on other channels as well. Now, what is that? Okay, so what we have here is a small sampling of what people are calling the stream snipers, Chroma edition. We've got Cluminati, Everyday with Jay, Queen Bee or the Hive Sidebar, Trisha Talks, Kathy P. Let's Talk About It, and Nonsense. Encompassed with this, we also have clip channels. Here's a sampling of clip channels: Hartley, Earth, Chroma Reels, Mocking Media, Chroma Chronicles, and Just Saying. These are channels that you're likely familiar with if you're part of the true crime or trauma community. If you're unfamiliar with these channels, I have provided the links in the description for you to check out. Cluminati is a review commentary channel. She started to review AWBJ much like other commentary channels to correct or discuss or just go over information about the missing teenager from Tennessee. What ended up happening was that AWBJ began to promote personal sensitive information dug up on Cluminati's real life. Thus, Clue was brought into a back and forth to clarify, defend, or correct. Just Saying. Just Saying is a former moderator of Allegedly with Brittany J. She has a clip channel or a discussion or community channel. I recommend anybody to visit this particular video that she made on July 10th of 2025. It's an audio post. This audio presentation is a very informative example of just one person's experience with AWBJ. I recommend that anyone that is questioning how this all started, Just Saying gives a plain explanation. Nonsense. Nonsense on the web. Nonsense has been a review channel for several years. It has been said her content is a relentless pursuit of correcting misinformation in active cases of public interest. While correcting or addressing problematic behavior of a streamer regarding a case, BJ allowed her panel guests to engage in negative, potentially transphobic comments regarding nonsense. It has digressed from there. As time has gone on, the aggressive comments by the panel guests and chatters has progressed to the point of potentially defaming statements, as well as the potential of inciting what was a derogatory channel on YouTube. Hartley. Hartley is a parody-inspired clip channel. Hartley takes clips. Hi, Earth Honey. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Hopefully you can stay and give this a listen. Hartley takes the clips of AWBJ's live streams and transforms them into animated characters. This is a parody using the creator's own words. This is fair use and transformative. A Google overview of live streaming review of live streams. Yes, this correlates with what some are calling screen or stream sniping. And as a side quest, originally screen sniping or sniping was when somebody would come into a live stream, take over the live stream, and either kick the host or disable the stream altogether. And this was prevalent when we were going live using Google Hangouts, Zoom, or Skype. So I was originally a little bit confused about that because what I saw going on was live reviewing, simulcasting, if you will. So what does Google have to say about this? Yes, live stream reviews are generally allowed on YouTube, but you must adhere to certain rules and guidelines to avoid potential issues. Here's a breakdown of the key considerations. Community guidelines. All live streams must comply with YouTube community guidelines according to Google Health. Copyright. Be mindful of copyright when including content from other sources in your live stream reviews, such as music, video clips, or images. Using copyrighted material without permission from the rights holder can lead to your live stream being interrupted or terminated. Fair use may allow limited use of copyrighted material for purposes like commentary or criticism, but it is a complex doctrine and doesn't guarantee protection from copyright claims. That is something that we're going to go into a little bit further into the presentation because there was a landmark case from Ethan Klein or the H3 podcast that further clarified the use of live streaming a live stream while giving commentary, criticism, or review, up to and including parody parodying or using the content in satirical format, even if insults are involved. And again, we will get into that as the presentation goes along. Recent live stream updates as of July 22nd, 2025. This is upcoming. You need to be at least 16 years old to live stream on YouTube. Live streams featuring 13 to 15-year-olds who are not visibly accompanied by an adult may have their live chat disabled or even removed in the future. YouTube's monetization guidelines emphasize originality and authenticity. So your reviews should provide unique value and commentary rather than just reusing or repurposing existing content without significant alteration. And this is why it's important for our live commentary channels or our live reviewing channels. It's important that you understand that you must provide commentary, not just, wow, well, would you look at that? What did he just say? That's not transformative in nature, nor is that elaborating or adding additional value to the original content. And what is the responsibility of a creator here on YouTube? And how that all integrates to your chat or your comment section. It's against our policies. This is YouTube. It's against our policies to threaten anyone on YouTube with violence or to harass someone with prolonged or malicious insults. Full stop. There is an addition to that. Okay. Hi, Liberty Farmer. Thank you for being here. We've heard that it's constant, it's badgering, it's every day. They're always talking about me. That's against guidelines. As I said, there is a caveat. Let's read again. It's against our policies to threaten anyone on YouTube with violence or to harass someone with prolonged or malicious insults based on their protected attributes. Based on their protected attributes. That's a very important portion of that of this aspect when you're making those claims. Okay, what's the intent? What's the context of this insult or quote unquote harassing behavior? Okay. A YouTube creator hosting a live stream is generally considered responsible for the content that appears on their channel, including what their guests say. This responsibility stems from a combination of platform policies and legal considerations. This is directly from support at google.com under YouTube. Comments. YouTube creators have a responsibility to moderate comments on their videos, but not a strict legal obligation. While YouTube provides tools and guidelines for creators to manage their comment sections, the platform generally protects itself from liability for user-generated content through Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. Again, YouTube and other platforms, they are specifically shielded from going after them for what's allowed on their platform. Okay, you need to understand that. People need to understand that if you feel a certain kind of way or feel that you're being treated a certain kind of way out there on the internet while you're utilizing their service, it's not YouTube's responsibility to intervene unless certain criteria are met. And we'll get into that because the onus or the responsibility is on the creator to protect themselves. There is a vast variety of ways to do that. However, creators can face consequences, including channel strikes or removal, if their content or management of their comments violates YouTube's commentary guidelines, community guidelines, or, another caveat, if their offline platform behavior negatively impacts the community. This is directly from youtube.com/ITINTL/EN_IN/creators/safety. Comments in live chat are great ways to engage with your fans, but people can be mean or they can be spammy. Okay, mean or spammy. These are sanitized. This is sanitized language for, you can have trolls, you can have idiots, you can have assholes come into your chat or into your community. You can remove or turn off comments and chats, and it won't impact your video performance or rankings. Set expectations for your communities on how your community should act or interact with your channel. Here are some tools to help you establish what is or isn't allowed on your channel. Blocked words, filter offensive words or phrases from your page. Block offensive comments with increased strictness. You can block your real name, your address, or other private information. You do this in your back studio, in YouTube Studio. You could go in there. Words that you don't like, words that you don't want to see. If there are channels that you don't want mentioned, you can't always rely on your audience to respect your wishes when you ask that of them. So go ahead and block that channel. Block that channel's name. Okay? Censor your live chat. Censor your comments. Allow your moderators to have the ability to add blocked words if you see certain words or a pattern. Okay. The responsibility of a channel is the channel holder's responsibility. It's that simple. You have ways to protect yourself from unwanted things. Here's just 3 examples of how AWBJ's chat was left unchecked. Nonsense, you're free. Who do you think you are? You have something wrong mentally. You need to call a therapist and be seen ASAP. You're not joking. I'm not joking. Get help now. Older women stalking children. Don't just have to be men following young women in a car. Acting like a single white female sounds like stalking. While this is observations or comments in this chat, these comments can be seen by the recipient that they're addressing as instigating or slightly offensive or inciting, as some would say. But they were allowed to remain in the chat. These particular live streams are no longer available. That's just as a note. So now we're going to talk about a little bit about copyright and how it relates to other content. X, or previously known as Twitter in particular. Generally, sharing tweets on YouTube without the author's permission can lead to potential trouble, especially from a copyright standpoint, and here's why. Tweets on X are immediately or automatically fall under copyright protection, and X has an exclusive right to broadcast or to share the comments or the videos or the media that's on their platform with the user. Violations, re-uploading tweets or videos or photos from X to YouTube without permission can constitute copyright infringement, potentially leading to lawsuit or penalties. This is especially true if you download a video from YouTube and re-upload it to X without a permission as well. So it's a reciprocal thing in their terms of use. Things have to be transformative in value, which means they need to add meaning or expression. Practical implications. Even if there's no official complaint or lawsuit, using copyrighted material can still result in copyright claims on a platform like YouTube, potentially leading to demonetization, content removal, or account penalties. And where this comes into play in particular with AWBJ is that because there was a hashtag and she searched that hashtag, she brought up a number of tweets or X's or whatever they're called nowadays, and without context on a lot of them, one in particular. And why I'm now putting a name on it, because I was specifically brought up with zero context to my tweet. It was twisted as if I was referencing BJ in the tweet. The hashtag was an afterthought. However, this my response that you pulled up was part of a greater thread, and that was skirting the line of weaponization. And in her words, please pardon my language, this is effing dangerous, and was left to go at that. And that also, not only did it show my social media name that I use, but it actually showed a true to life image of myself. And as a result, I had to take the necessary steps to lock down what has been an account of mine, because I was inundated with what some others might consider harassing acts, and some language that was offensive, insightful, if you will. But I protected myself. I reported all of that, and there we go. So we are addressing this. What's important is this information is for general guidance and is not legal advice. If you have specific concerns about using copyrighted material, consult with a legal professional specializing in intellectual copyright laws. And hey, Sophie. Hi, Cash. Hi, Liberty Farmer. Wendy Blank and dangerous do not go together. Oh, my. Let's take a breather for a moment. I'm going to have a quick drink of water. And let me check my legal pad here for some additional notes that I might need to go over. Okay. We went over that. Okay. All right. So this was a side note. If you'd like further information for that, I would recommend that you look into X and YouTube in the help section in Google Help. That's where this information can be found in its entirety. Quick disclaimer, nothing in this presentation is to be taken as legal advice. The laws in the United States are constantly being updated as technology, culture, and society changes. What's on the books today may be updated tomorrow. Do your own research. What we're going to be delving into is free expression, how it's tied to speculation, accusation, falsehoods, conjecture, slander, and or libel, commonly known as defamation. And here we go. What is an injunction? One of the law's most powerful tools, injunctions, are extraordinary, both in terms of their timing and their effectiveness. Why are we discussing this? Allegedly, with Brittany J. was a participant in a lawsuit filed in October in Delaware County, Pennsylvania. It was asking for injunctive relief from things that were being said online relative to commentary on a missing child in Tennessee. But what is interesting about this request for injunctive relief was that it also included a civil RICO claim. We will get into that in a little bit later, but that I will have information for you to find that. I would suggest that you look. Granny's Watching was the YouTuber involved. Barbecue Lady was the TikToker that was involved in that. I have a live stream going over the FOIA doxing in RICO, I believe is what the title is. It is. You can find that under live streams. And within that live stream, in the description, are all the updated links to the updated documentation regarding that specific lawsuit. But this bears going into, because BJ has discussed or has intimated or has implied or is allowing us at least to infer that what she's recently been discussing is perhaps an injunction, um, an RO, or a C&D of some nature in regards to YouTubers, chatters, mods. We just don't know because it's not been exactly specific, but she has made claims publicly of harassment and perhaps defamation. But we'll see. We'll see as we move along how that pans out. Okay. As I said, injunctions are extraordinary. Certain injunctions are used with a with a rapidity otherwise unknown in the American legal system. Injunctions frequently have consequences so sweeping that they effectively shut down operating businesses or otherwise affect dramatically the rights of parties involved in irreversible manner, even when the requested injunction is refused. There are remedies available through an injunction. The only limitation The only limitation on remedies available through an injunction is the creativity of the counsel involved or the judge hearing the case. Generally speaking, there are two kinds of relief available through an injunction: prohibitory and mandatory. A prohibitory injunction is the most common form of injunction and directs a party to refrain from acting in a certain manner. Examples of a prohibitory injunction are cease and desist orders, such as an order stopping a bulldozer prior to raising of a historic building. Injunctions can also be mandatory, however, in which case the court directs a party to take affirmative action. An example of this is back when schools were integrating um, the and the busing cases prevalent several decades ago. So, whether prohibitory or mandatory, the only limit on the power of the trial judge, other than the role of an appeals court, is that the remedy selected be reasonably suited to abate the threatened harm, and that the court be in a position to enforce its own order and assess a party's compliance. Hey, Monchi-Chi, glad to see you. Glad you're here. We're going to take another brief moment. Let me go ahead and throw up the Betty song while I must timed out by Earth. I must take a break to catch my breath. So just one moment, my friends. A bullhorn, bedhorn, Betty. Bullhorn Betty got herself in a jam. Oh, bullhorn Betty, fixing to get put up in slam. Oh, bullhorn Betty, a fake press pass. Judge gonna take her down fast.
jam. Tennessee judge backing her off to slam. Oh, go on, baby. Go on.
Okay, thank you guys so much for waiting for me. Okay, let's see where we're in chat. Hi, Chow. Thanks for being here. I'm glad you could make it. This stream is basically, this is going to be focusing on the true crime and trauma community. So you may find some of it actually offensive, and I apologize to my listeners that aren't from the true crime trauma or commentary community. I have a lot of subscribers that are from the debate area and the faith community. So guard your ears, guard your peace, because here shortly we're going to be hearing some things that may cause a little bit of upset. So, and again, their own words. So bear with me on this. All right, moving along. So what we have here, quick, okay, all right, moving along. Privileges and other, oh, looks like I'm buffering. Am I buffering? Hello? Can anybody hear me? Oh, doggone. Hold on, guys. Oh, Monchichi, I'm sorry if you can hear me. Yes, and the wood turning community. Okay. All right, good. You guys can hear. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Then it's just on, I think it's just Restream trying to catch up. Okay. All right, then. Privileges and other legal defenses for defamation lawsuits. Consent. If the plaintiff consented to the publication of the defamatory statement, they typically. Yes, I can hear you guys, Kat. The defamatory statement, they typically cannot bring a defamation action for that same publication. Consent may be express or implied, suggested, but not directly expressed, as in, I don't care if they show those texts, depending on the circumstances, such as intentionally allowing the statement to be gathered for publication, as in not removing a comment in chat, showing on screen, being pinned. Statute of limitations. Defamation claims must be filed within a specific time period. Some jurisdictions recognize a single publication rule, which starts the clock at the time the statement first appears. A defendant can get a case dismissed if the plaintiff missed the deadline. An affirmative defense, truth. Truth. If the defendant shows that the statement at issue is true or substantially true, a defamation claim will generally fail. Minor inaccuracies that do not alter the overall thrust of the statement usually do not defeat the truth defense, as long as the gist of the statement is accurate. Opinion. Statements of pure opinion that cannot be proven true or false are usually not actionable. A speaker cannot shield false statements of fact by merely labeling them as an opinion, though. So courts examine whether a reasonable person, under the circumstances, would interpret the statement as a subjective viewpoint or an assertion of fact, as in, this is effing dangerous. That's an assertion of fact. Or it's stated, it's asserted. Hey, Nonsense. Thank you for stopping in. I really do appreciate it. Okay, moving along. Slap and anti-slap, a strategic lawsuit against public participation. What's important to note here is North Carolina does not have an anti-slap statute at this time. It's been struck down twice. It hasn't gone further, but they do have a rather unique ability that allows uh, remuneration against frivolous lawsuits. So while they don't necessarily have an anti-slap, they do have other protections if somebody is claiming certain things when it constitutes free speech or opinion or commentary. So keep that in mind, but that is something that we will discuss at the end. So, what is a strategic lawsuit against public participation, or SLAP? Refers to lawsuits brought by individuals and entities to dissuade their critics from continuing to produce negative publicity. By definition, a SLAP suits do not have any true legal claims against the critics. People bring SLAP suits because they can either temporarily prevent their critics from making public statements against them, or more commonly, to make critics spend all their time and resources defending the SLAP. Given their ability to stop individuals from exercising their right to free speech, over 30 states currently have adopted anti-SLAP statutes that make it easier for defendants in SLAP lawsuits to have the case dismissed at the onset or outset before spending lots of money on attorney's fees. In egregious SLAP cases, an anti-SLAP statute may even require the plaintiff to pay legal fees of the defendant. So you can source that from law.cornell.ed for edu /wex//suit. And why this comes into play with AWBJ allegedly with Brittany J allegedly, in my opinion, with Brittany J, also known as Brittany Jackson, is because she was involved in the injunction and in a civil RICO claim that was essentially found to be a SLAP. So we'll go over that real quick. Is aligned with a group of plaintiffs in a lawsuit filed in Delaware County, Pennsylvania against another YouTuber and a TikToker. The suit requested injunctive relief against speech that was critical of coverage of a missing teenager and critical of those that were providing the coverage on that missing teenager. This lawsuit also alleged civil RICO. Here is the case file. If you'd like to look at that, there is the link for that. And as I said, under my doxing, FOIA, and RICO live stream, there is a full outline of links to the records in this case, as well as you can find direct discussion with the defendant in this case, Granny's Watching, on her channel. The judge determined the suit was a SLAP and dismissed it with prejudice. And that may come into play further down the road, depending on what comes out of the recent inferences that we're all left to make based on the statements made by the YouTuber allegedly with Brittany J. And moving along. Unclean hands, no clean hands, dirty hands, clean hand doctrine. The clean hands doctrine, also known as the unclean hands or dirty hands doctrine, is an equitable defense. This means it can be used to prevent a plaintiff from obtaining certain remedies if they have engaged in unethical or wrongful conduct related to the subject of the claim. Here's what could potentially apply in a harassment claim as a defense. If a plaintiff seeking equitable relief, such as an injunction, and what did we learn previously? An injunction encompasses a C&D or cease and desist, such as an injunction to stop harassment or to require the defendant to take certain actions, such as, say, not speak about them anymore, or not to say mean things about them anymore, or to just leave me alone, don't hashtag me. And the defendant can prove that the plaintiff has also engaged in the misconduct, or they themselves participated in harassment or made false allegations of harassment, or allowed false allegations to be made in their community. This is in the context of YouTube, in their chat, in their comment section. So we have a fine line between what exactly is an opinion or free speech, or actually, what did we say earlier? A statement of fact, such as, this is fucking dangerous. And again, I apologize for the language, but I want to be accurate and not misquote. So the impact on the defendant or the case, the plaintiff's wrongdoing must have given them an unfair advantage or harmed the defendant in the context of the harassment claim. Important considerations: equitable relief only. The clean hands doctrine generally applies to claims seeking equitable remedies, like injunctions or C&Ds, not purely legal remedies such as monetary damages. In essence, a party who seeks help from a court of equity must be seen as acting in good faith. There's that term again, good faith. I use that a lot in my presentations. Good faith means when, well, let's say, hypothetically, you're speaking to an attorney. You're speaking to that attorney in good faith. You have good faith that the attorney is going to give you valuable and correct advice, and the attorney, on the other hand, is acting in good faith because what you've told them is true, it's accurate, it's the facts as you know them, it's the facts as you see them, and that you haven't, as a client, left anything out, anything, say, that might come to bite you in the ass later. So, it's very important that when you sign a contract or when you're seeking legal advice, that the person that's giving that advice has all the information. So, everybody that's out there, just keep that in mind. I mean, that's just a good rule of thumb. And as an adult, these are things that we need to know. And again, this isn't legal advice or legal commentary. This is just referencing research that we find on the internet and as it pertains to being a YouTuber. Case law. Before we get to the case law on these particular matters, such as DMCA claims, fair use, harassment, cyberbullying, criticism, live streaming, let's take a trip down memory lane. And keep in mind everything we've discussed up until this point. Enjoy.
Y'all want to watch Pothole? If y'all want to watch the Pothole commercial, then what you need to do before we watch the Pothole commercial, I need you to click that thumbs up, baby. Go ahead, click that thumbs up, and make sure drop what number. Well, I can't ask that. What number thumbs up we got? We'll watch that Pothole, Jack. Slap 5 on it, baby. What you doing, Miss Gabby? How you doing today? Oh, come on. We only got 200. Y'all want to watch Pothole? If y'all want to watch the Pothole commercial, then what you need to do before we watch the Pothole commercial, I need you to click that thumbs up, baby. Go ahead, click that thumbs up, and make sure drop what number. Well, I can't ask that. What number thumbs up we got? We'll watch that Pothole, Jack. Slap 5 on it, baby. What you doing, Miss Gabby? How you doing today? Oh, come on. We only got 249 likes. Jack, we can do better than that, baby. Oh, snap. Look at there. Hold on, I gotta find it. Panda Bears are just coming in. I can't get the voice. Jack, that's what I'm talking about. Panda Bear just come in. Become a member of the green team, baby. That's what I'm talking about, Jack. We got a new member tonight. Panda Bear's mom. Welcome to the green team, Jack. The effing green team. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Yes, welcome to the green team. Dropping a membership on it. Welcome to the green team, Jack. Hold on a minute, Jack. Let's pull up our video. What's going on, Josh Duncan? How you doing tonight? I am too bad. You don't know who I'm impersonating? I ain't even gonna tell you. If you don't know, I ain't telling you. That's all, Jack. Alright, baby. Okay, Buzzy, you can't do her unless you smoke 30 packs of Pall Malls, baby. Carolina Moon coming 30 months. 30 damn months, Carolina Moon. What the hell? Oh, hell no. Carolina Moon, she done broke the record. That's what I'm talking about. Smoke one to that, baby. Go out on the back porch. Get that roach out your ashtray. And smoke them if you got them, if you know what I'm talking about, Jack. That's what I'm talking about, Carolina Moon. 30 mother effing months, baby. Yes, Jack. Brittany sounded like she smoked the whole damn. Brittany sounded like she done swallowed the whole damn ashtray. Smoke them if you got them, baby. Oh, hell no. Is this this all I got to do to get memberships? Shit. I'll talk like this all day long. Y'all want to give me a membership? That's all I got to do? Shit. Smoke them if you got them. Smoke them if you got them. Oh, hell. My voice. I done talk like a damn bullfrog and woke my kid up. Give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. Every single right to get mad.
Shut your inbred, donkey ass mouth.
Donkey.
Shut the fuck up, you inbred high school dropout. Can't read, illiterate motherfucker.
Oh.
You illiterate, son. You can't read. You know you can't read. We all know you can't read. Go read in front of us so we can all see that you can read.
Well, while they talk about my
Illiterate
intelligence.
ass, inbred ass, heels have eyes.
Okay.
You can't read.
Okay, that's enough.
Scream and
Enough.
show us.
Nonsense, no, I don't remember, but you do. You freaking stalker ass weirdo. Like, I've never had somebody date and timestamp every single thing I do. One of these days, you're going to look back on this and be like, oh my God, I went way too far with that girl. How embarrassing. Like, you are so invested. Friday, February the 14th, 2008, Brittany took a poop. Like, I swear. It's so weird. August the 23rd, 1987, at 5:38 a.m., Brittany was born to her mother. And, and then she'll start spewing some real life stuff, where I was born at, what weight I am, and then the next thing she'll give the date of what time, the date and time and when I had my first child. Or when I got my first boyfriend. Like, I would not be surprised at this point if she's trying to contact childhood friends. Dear Diary. Hold on. Hold on, let me get it. Dear Diary, I've never felt this way before. Dear Diary, today, BJ blinked her eyes 5 times in 1 second. Dear Diary. That's the way she talks. Kyle got so mad at me today because he says all I talk about anymore is BJ. And he said that we can't even have dinner without me bringing up BJ. But I try to remind him that these are the important things in my life. And he's an islander, and us islanders stick together. I mean, after all, it's not just about Brittany. God. Brody Gal, are you there? God, it's me. Nonsense. Are you there? God. Are you there? God. It's me. Nonsense. Thank you for being a member 13 months, Brody Gal. I never felt this way before. I'm telling you, Lori, it's crazy. BJ is mother. His magic. With friends like them, who needs enemies? Oh, man. I'm telling you what. I'm telling you what. All right.
Wishing you could sleep with my woman. Eat some more cake, Bubba. Eat some more cake.
Love
Oh,
and
I like
feeder.
it when you eat that cake.
What is that, a feeder?
A feeder, yeah.
A feeder? Oh, my God.
You're up there feeding her. Knowing that everybody's watching Brittany and you got a crush on her. We can all see it. You're a pervert, dude. Something's wrong with you.
It's
Everybody can see that
weird.
you're like this inbred, giggling donkey motherfucker from Tennessee mountains. You're a sick little dude. Everybody knows it. You're bald. Do you even have teeth in your mouth?
No.
Do you know how pathetic you are, son? Shut your fucking mouth.
It's gross, man.
Somebody needs to put you somewhere.
All right. I'm done with it, y'all.
Disgrace, son.
It is, absolutely.
It's a disgrace on our people.
Yeah, it just don't stop. And honestly, I'm just gonna say this, because we're gonna call it quits for tonight. Because no, you did nothing wrong. I'm over
But just,
them
you're
too.
a sick little bitch, man.
They are like,
You're sick.
and honestly, like, and anybody else that wants to say something,
You're
just
single most of the time, really.
no, and just remember, like,
It's so disgusting.
you know,
Like, it's
they
disgusting.
do this shit, and this man has come at me for months now. So when Craig finally barks back,
Love
like, what the
cleaners,
fuck would you
man.
expect?
Love cleaners.
Anybody's husband would defend their wife about shit like this. You don't do stuff like this.
Hey,
You just don't.
step to me, I'm not gonna fucking do a chicken hit. I'm gonna fucking bust your ass. And I'm gonna be down there choking.
Let's talk about Petty. What you got?
Hey,
What you got, Petty?
hey, bitch, how the fuck
No,
you
let's-
doing? You're fucking
Sinner,
wrong.
Sinner, let's be
You're
civil.
wrong, fucking
Sinner,
doing.
Sinner, let's be civil. Let's be civil.
Sinner, shut the fuck up. Sit the
Oh,
fuck
shut
down.
up, hey, you take your twisted little twat and go fuck yourself.
Hey, Sinner, hold on a minute. Just hold on. Let me talk to her. What would you like to discuss?
Fucking
Everything that's going on. Sinner, shut the fuck up. If I want your opinion, I'll get your fucking cage.
spit
I just want to talk about the stuff that's going on with her.
What
Okay.
do you
And
want to
I've
say?
heard that you want it all to stop. So,
what?
about all the people going at you. You're fed up of it, and we're not sticking up for your kids and stuff like that.
we're not
Yeah,
gonna take
Hold on,
it.
Sinner,
It's not-
Sinner, hold on a
No, we're
minute.
not gonna
Sinner,
take it. We're
Sinner,
not
hold on a minute.
gonna take it.
Let's have some respect.
Petty little
Let's have
bitch.
some respect. Let's
You're a
let Brittany
petty
talk
little
to this girl.
Have you finished?
There is no respect for a petty little.
You are a shrink dick little fucking predator who goes
Uh,
after kids. Shut
Oh,
the
a little
fuck up.
predator.
Now
A
sit the
little,
fuck down,
a little
Sinner.
scaredy
We're
bitch that
trying to
protects
talk
a
to
bitch
Brittany.
that
So
bruises
shut
her
up.
own daughters.
You fucking
You protect a
moron.
woman who bruises her own daughters.
She never bruised her
Hey,
own daughter.
bitch.
And I'm not
You're
open to talk about
you're a
bruise.
petty
You need to
bitch.
sit your fucking
Oh.
mouth down.
All right, let's stop.
Hold up, guys. Let her talk.
Enough, Craig. Hold on, y'all. This is probably the worst stream to try to.
I don't care who you've got up here. I'm not bothered. It don't bother me.
No,
Okay,
she's
but
putting on the show, Britt. She knew
honestly,
what she was doing coming up here
What
with
I don't
everybody.
honestly, what I don't like to do though is like if somebody comes up, I don't want anybody like I don't like I get dogpiled on a daily basis.
You're a loser. We don't care.
Let me
We're
at
gonna laugh at
me
you.
try to talk. Let me at least try to talk.
We're
because
not gonna take it. No, we're not gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore.
I'm so done, guys.
Okay.
I can't do this.
Fuck off, petty.
You finish now.
Betty,
Got this.
I fucking feel sorry for you.
stop, y'all.
Petty. You're like one mud puddle behind, bitch. It's
I'm
okay.
snorting.
Jay is a bitter, sweaty, menopausal bitch living in a decades-old trailer full of asbestos and mold, begging for scratch-offs, living her karma, in my opinion.
Yeah, don't forget the hurricane.
No karma yet.
I love your picture, Little Miss Sunshine. Beautiful. Oh my goodness, that's so funny.
So, keeping in mind everything we've gone over so far, this was just a very small sampling of a few things that could possibly be seen as not having clean hands if somebody is wanting to say that, well, they just say nasty things about me on the internet. Okay, so there's one older case here as explained in Kendall Jackson Winery versus the Superior Court. That's listed. You can screen grab that. The party exerting the unclean hands defense must prove that the misconduct relates directly to the subject matter concerning which a particular claim is made. And then we wanted to get into the fair use, the H3 podcast lawsuit, which encompassed copyright, just a few things with that. This is a landmark case, not just for us, but the wording the judge put in this is going to strengthen fair use across YouTube, says Ethan Klein. It all relates to fair use, a U.S. law which allows people to use others' works for criticism, parody, and news reporting. Search the H3H3 copyright lawsuit on fair use. That case also involved a DMCA counter notification by the claims, which was also upheld by the court. There was a counterclaim of defamation by the plaintiff. However, the court dismissed Hassan Hazandah's defamation claims, finding that the client's statements were either non-actionable opinion or substantially true. And one other thing we also have is rhetorical hyperbole. In some contexts, using such strong language might be considered rhetorical hyperbole, meaning an exaggerated statement not intended to be taken literally or as a factual claim. And as I always say, context matters. While generally considered opinion, the context of a statement is still critical. And we'll go back to my favorite case, Vogel v. Felice. The use of the term dumbass is neither libel nor defamation. If the meaning conveyed cannot be taken by its nature to be proved false, it cannot support a libel claim. Also, merely linking a plaintiff's name to the word Satan, calling them demonic or evil, conveys nothing more than the author's opinion that there is something devilish or evil about the plaintiff. Again, I will refer you back to the live streams or the standalone video presentations I did referencing the defamation context and so forth. Specifically, I believe the slander, libel, defamation one, where we do actually go into further detail with what's considered rhetorical hyperbole, and the line with opinion, where if you've observed something, so therefore you form an opinion based on your observation, that's your opinion. That's not necessarily defamation. If I say, wow, she's a nasty piece of work, or back to the case where somebody was wanting to claim defamation for being called a slut, and all those cases are in there. And again, I'll refer you to Uncivil Law, where he discusses cases as they happen. Excellent resource for anybody and everybody on these topics. We'll get into cyberbullying. How does the law define cyberbullying? Intentionally places another person in reasonable fear for their safety or the safety of their family by means of electronic communications without their consent, to cause the person unwanted physical injury, contact, or harassment. And this is going to be what the law defines as harassment in the state of North Carolina for this particular instance, because that is supposedly where the individual resides that is looking into making or allowing us to infer all these different things about what this lawyer is intended for. And here, let's make a distinction between a critic and a bully. A critic, even a forceful one, does business in the proper currency of intellectual discourse, presenting evidence, providing reasons, making arguments. A bully questions a person's motives and calls them names. Now, where have I heard that? Where have I heard someone making or questioning a motive? Oh, I don't know. Well, that's not review. That's not commentary. That's not fair use. They're just doing it to get rid of my channel. They just want to kick me offline. Oh, is that questioning somebody's motives? Calling names. I don't know. Lady LaDude. Cro-Magnon woman. Look at those eyebrows. Oh my. I don't know. I'm sure somebody in chat could come up with a few other things. But that's just, again, my observation. That's just my observations. So where does this all lead? Oh, I almost forgot. Fighting words. Oh my goodness gracious. Where have we heard that? Let's talk about fighting words. Speech that incites violence, commonly known as fighting words, has been defined as words that by their very utterance inflict injury or tend to incite an immediate breach of the peace. Chaplinsky versus the state of New Hampshire. The court has more recently narrowed the definition of fighting words to exclude, what's that? Exclude mere inconvenience, annoyance, or offensive content. My goodness. And to include only personally abusive epithets, which, when addressed to the ordinary citizen, are as a matter of common knowledge inherently likely to provoke violent reactions. See, so words that are merely inconvenient or that myself I might find offensive or they might annoy me, that's not necessarily insightful or fighting or anything now, is it? Cohen v. California. I'm sure there's some more recent cases. And again, you all are free to do your own research and pull up whatever you like. None of this is legal advice. This is simply addressing things that we see on the internet and discussing them. Additionally, states may prohibit only certain fighting words based on their content. RIV v. the City of St. Paul, Minnesota, 1992. So, in essence, where are we at? Where are we at? YouTubers that are continually reviewed. Nomadic Fanatic gained notoriety for his nomadic lifestyle. An online presence where he solicited support from his audience. He was called an e-beggar. He also has an extensive criminal history that came to light through his online activities, through the stickers community. 10 years of commentary. Onision has been a controversial figure online. The reasons for negative sentiment towards him are varied and stem from his online presence and actions over the years. There have been significant allegations raised against him regarding his interactions with individuals, which have led to public criticism and scrutiny. Perhaps a member of Boyd, 10 plus years of commentary. Foodie Beauty is a controversial YouTuber known for weight loss journey vlogs and her tendency to blame external factors, including viewers and social media, when she fails to meet her diet goals. These haters often express their opinions in the comment section of her videos or on social media platforms. Multiple years of commentary, Girl World. More recently, Nick Rekieta, a once popular YouTube creator that some say was the founder of LawTube, live streaming trials while adding legal commentary, having open law panels, adding humor and insight. He also was a top-grossing Super Chat recipient. His personal life fell to pieces. Amid legal and moral scandal, the anti-law pope community formed a year plus of commentary on him, and not all of it nice. I'd say most of it, by all four, just this small sampling that goes back 10 years, still has their commentary channels or their commentary communities of them still across YouTube and the internet. And finally, are we wrapping this up? A roadmap to locale status, having an anti-community emerge. Welcome to the internet, the clapback. A clapback is deemed by most as a targeted, often viciously acute comeback intended to place someone in much-needed check. Humble them, if you will. The act of trolling, the act of leaving an insulting message on the internet in order to annoy someone. A flame war. A flame war is a heated online argument characterized by angry, insulting, and often personal attacks between two or more individuals or groups typically in online forums or social media. It's a type of sustained flaming where participants exchange inflammatory messages. Don't feed the trolls. The rule is not to feed trolls. They feed on any kind of interaction. So you are technically trolling if you troll a troll because you're feeding into it. A meme. A meme in its broadest sense is an idea, behavior, or style, perhaps a person or a character, an online personality that spreads through imitation or humor. It's the final destination. If you find that you've been made into a meme or you found yourself in a flame war, the outcome may be the formation of a community built around criticizing your behavior. What do I suggest just as a fellow user of the internet? Log off, reflect, recognize, take ownership, be accountable. And here are the links to the channels referenced today. You can screenshot that. And as I said, they are in my description. And just three things I'd like to bring up. It's been discussion of hashtags. So what are hashtags? Hashtags aren't for the person tagged or whom the content is about. It is a tool so people that want to find contact on a specific topic or person will be able to find it via the search bar. Atting someone. When you at someone, that is a courtesy on social media and video streaming services or platforms when their content is used or referenced. Oftentimes, it's considered the source material. And why this is important for YouTube is because of the fair use doctrine. It is called citing the original content or the original source, or in other words, the copyright holder. So there we have that. Now, what I am going to briefly touch on, because again, we've been left to infer that there might be possibly no contact orders. And we've heard some say, well, you can't go after somebody because you have to go to their jurisdiction. In North Carolina, there is something called a no contact order or a 50C. And that is filed by someone who feels that they are a victim of harassment or stalking with no, this is a very specific order, okay? And the first steps in that is asking for people to just stop contacting you. There is a link to enoughnc.org/no, N-O, contact, CONTACT, order, ORDER, 50, the little letter C, /. You can go there. That link is in my description, and you can read what the guidelines are for that. And this references back to what does North Carolina consider harassment. I will refer you back to also the Communications Acts and what is considered electronic communication and what's not electronic communication. It's very in-depth, but it all boils down to the same thing. Context, criticism, fair use, commentary, and washing hands, clean hands, dirty hands, wear your hands. What role do you play in what is taking place with you, for you, or about you on the internet? Personal responsibility, accountability for your own actions. How do you remedy that? Is it by going after people frivolously? Is it hiding the breadth of your own involvement in what's taken place, again, I'll bring you back to, and again, I apologize for the words I'm going to use, but it all boils back to, this is fucking dangerous, right? Right? Isn't that what some say? Yeah. I've been tapped in. And if anybody has any questions, I will go down over here to the chat and see what's going on. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. So, hello everybody. Okay, it doesn't look like we have a whole lot of questions. Blank screen, thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it. Oh, it looks like there was a mod war going on in here or something. Not entirely sure. But yeah, nonsense. I am so glad that in my real life that there's something that's called professional courtesy because of the type of work I've done in my lifetime. So again, I'm one that has, although I speak on certain things and I bring a lot of things up, I try to do it in a way that it is generalized and for the everyday person. But I try not to divulge too much of my 30 plus years of experience. But professional courtesy is something that I am extremely grateful for. And it relates to what Nonsense has said here, where what someone may have tried to imply regarding myself. And again, when you don't know the context of something, when your knee-jerk reaction, when you're automatically defensive. This wasn't the first time. See, the first time was in February of 2025 when I was called stupid. I just didn't know that I didn't understand the law, specifically civil law. What law school did she go to? Wow. Quite a lot of assumptions based off a comment I made in a chat that simply said, in my opinion, based on what I've seen, Granny saying that she is a shit mother would not be seen as defamation because it's within the context of what was shown on the screen that day on BJ's chat. So it could be considered hyperbole. It was hyperbolic in nature based on an observation. So, again, here we are. If you find yourself on the internet, conduct yourself in a manner where that you limit, you try to limit the back and forth. Don't engage. Sit back. Use it for entertainment purposes. Thank you, Nonsense. I appreciate that. Cash, Earth, Chow, Kraken, Blank Screen, Earth again, Liberty Farmer, Revival, Uncivil. I really appreciate all of you being here today. Crazy and Wicked, I appreciate your input. I'm going to wrap this up. I think I've been going here for a little bit over an hour. So if you, on the restream, on the replay, as I said, just speed things up a little bit. If my speech was a little bit halted, I apologize. I do have metered speech, but that comes from years of training because you need to get points across. And I did speak a little bit quickly today because I wanted to keep it under an hour and not fall behind. But in the meantime, y'all have a great day. Have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Contact me at my contact places. Oh, and real quick, as I said, I'm now on Ko-fi. Let me see here. I've been putting some exclusive things over there, and early access to presentations coming up. So that link is on screen now. Use it or don't, entirely up to you. As always, I will see you around the next corner. Bye.